Hey, beautiful beings, welcome in. Whether you're watching this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whenever, I hope you're having a fabulous day. So this video is entitled Why the World Needs to Hear Your Voice Right Now. So currently at this time, there are a lot of voices which are being put out there. There are a lot of loud voices, which doesn't necessarily mean they are the best voices to listen to. So in some of my earlier videos, I've talked about practice and discernment. You know, whenever you hear somebody speak, whether it's me, whether it's anyone, you know, and really listening to the words and the sentiments that are behind how they're speaking. And this is something that I'm being pulled quite strongly to at the minute. I'm reading this amazing book called She Speaks, which is The Power of Women's Voices by Yvette Cooper. And in here she goes through a lot of women's speeches from history, and also talks about what makes a great orator, or what makes someone really good at speaking. Now, if you've never spoken to, like, on YouTube before, if you've never done a podcast, doesn't matter, okay? The world right now needs to hear from people who are coming from a space of love and coming from their hearts and sharing those words that are coming through to them. So it might be that you are the voice of reason amongst your friends. It might be that you have a really calm voice. You know, a really good friend of mine, Lisa Victoria, who's written an amazing book, by the way, she has been told several times that she has a very calming voice, and it's a brilliant voice, you know, for meditations, etc. So really think about, you know, when you're speaking, who do your words land with? Yeah, who needs to hear your story? Who needs to hear the words that you're sharing? Because also, if you think, you know, that we're made up of energy, as we are physical beings and energetic beings and everything else, our words actually carry energy with them. So this may be, you know, like I said, if you're coming from a place of love, you might say something which a person really needs to hear. So just think about how you're using your voice right now to help others, to inspire others. Like I said, are you a voice of calm? Are you a voice of reason? And really sharing your truths as well, and your beliefs and your values with others. Because what happens is, as you start to open up, and whether it's sharing your story, whether it's sharing your feelings, it has an impact on others, and it encourages others to also start to speak their truth, to start to open up, to share their values. You know, there was something that I shared with a lady I met last week, and I've never voiced this, and I don't feel this is the space to voice it, but I voiced an opinion to her, and she was of agreement, and I was like, oh my days, you know, I don't feel comfortable or safe to share this with like masses of people at the minute. However, I felt safe to share it with her, and when she sort of said that's how I feel as well, I was like, yes. You know, so it makes us feel like we're not alone. It can make us feel like we found our tribe. You know, there's a lot of people at the minute who are searching for community, and whether that's like off-grid community or just finding your tribe, the only way that you're going to be able to find people who are part of that is by actually being honest with others and saying, this is how I feel, this is what I think, these are my beliefs. And from doing a lot of past life readings and past life like work with people, I really can see that many of us are afraid to speak our truth because there's past life stuff that's holding us back. You know, we've been killed. Yeah, you know, the majority of my past lives, I was killed as a pagan for practicing paganism in a forest. I was killed as a woman for holding women's circles in Greece. You know, for various beliefs and everything else. I've been a witch, I've been hung, I've been burnt. You know, every time in history, whenever I've voiced my thoughts, my beliefs, I've been persecuted for it. And that can sometimes hold us back and stop us from actually sharing our thoughts with others and actually speaking up. You know, there's a fear of public speaking. So I was on a Clubhouse app yesterday. If you haven't heard of Clubhouse, I love it. I love listening to people. I love just, there's so many insights and tips, etc. And this Clubhouse room was about starting a room. So I thought, oh, right, I'm just going to start a room which was entitled Why the World Needs to Hear Your Voice. And it didn't go exactly as I planned it. There was one other lady who joined me who shared her truths, shared her voice, and being able to hold space for that as well, I feel was really important. And I took on board everything that she said. And even though her truths didn't necessarily align with mine, and challenge some of my beliefs, it was interesting to hear what her truths were. And when you do start to open up, try and make sure you've got people around you who will support you and honor the truths that you're sharing. And again, I think there's a lot of fears that stop people putting themselves forward and actually saying what they want to say. Like I said, there's fear of persecution, there's fear of being trolled, been there as well. There's fear of people taking the mick out of you. There might be stuff, maybe you tried to stand up for yourself in school and you were beaten down, like not literally, or maybe literally. So there's a lot of fears that we have to overcome in order to really start sharing our voice. There's just another lady popped into my mind as well, Natasha Dorfin. She's written several books as well about the voice and speaking your truth. She's over on Instagram. You can check her out as well. So it's like, how do we start to overcome these fears? And quite simply, we just have to make a start and just start putting ourselves out there and overcome that feeling that is uncomfortable. I remember when I did my first YouTube video about the Pleiadians, and I sat for about 10 minutes in front of my camera and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you want me to talk about aliens. I was talking to, I called upstairs the universe, whatever. I was like, I can't believe you want me to share, my thoughts and tell people that I've been speaking to aliens and that I've been channeling the Pleiadians. And there was that really uncomfortable, like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. But then I just pressed record, did it, and put it out there. And one thing that I never do, and again, this is completely up to the individual, but I never re-listen to any podcast episodes I make. I never re-listen to my interviews. I never re-listen to any of my recordings, because for me, I'm like, I'm in this moment. This is what I want to share. These are the words that I'm being given to share with you guys. So I don't want to go back and listen to them myself, because that's then sometimes when you can end up procrastinating. You can overanalyze how you look, what you're wearing. You can overanalyze the words you've said. You might want to start editing bits out, and before you know it, you've got a video. You've maybe got like 2 minutes of a video from a 10-minute video that you shared. So as long as you think about the topic you want to speak about, just put yourself out there. Share your thoughts, share your beliefs, share your opinions, and hopefully it will encourage others who are of similar mind to either do the same or to be like, look, if this person can do it, then so can I. So the world very much needs to hear from voices right now that are reasonable, that are honest, that are coming from the heart and not from the head. Again, over the last couple of years, I've seen a lot of people that are coming from a place of ego, and they're coming from this space where they want to be seen as a leader. They want to be seen as being someone's savior. They want to be seen as being at the top of like a pyramid. But that's not the way leadership's going either. Leadership is about collective leadership and bringing people with you. So if there's something you want to share that can help people, whether it's to do with personal development, whether it's to do with business, whether it's to do with hobbies, whether it's to do with gardening or growing or off-grid stuff, whatever you are passionate about, I would recommend just sharing that to begin with, if that feels comfortable. You know, you might be someone who is brilliant at weaving, for example, or someone who's brilliant at making things out of wood or sticks, or, you know, whatever that looks like. And you might think, well, who wants to listen to me? That might be something as well that pops in your mind. And there, honestly, you will be surprised at how many people actually want to listen to you. The people want to hear your story, people want to hear your journey, people want to know why you're interested in that, you know. And it's like, wow, that's a different hobby, that's something a bit different. How do I get into that? You know, why did this person choose to get into that? So there's so many different opportunities now and spaces where you can share your voice. Like I said, you know, you can do it here on YouTube, Clubhouse. Love Clubhouse. If you are on Clubhouse, do feel free to come over and find me, because like I said, you know, I've been in so many different rooms there. I've been in rooms to do with aliens, I've been in rooms to do with business and marketing, I've been in rooms to do with investors and billionaires, and I find it fascinating, because one thing that I love is listening to people's stories and finding out how they got from where they were to where they are now, and listening to their journeys. So if you're thinking of starting something, you know, do start sharing your voice, because not only do people want to hear your journey or want to hear your thoughts and beliefs and opinions, but also the words carry energy, and that energy is so needed right now. Like I said, you know, there's so many lies have been told over the last eons of years. There is so much fakeness which has been put out there into this world, and in order for us to move forward as a collective, we need to hear from people who are coming from a space of honesty, who want to help others, who want to share their stories. And yeah, I find it fascinating listening to people's stories. And like I said, you know, when you're coming from that place of love or passion and you're really enjoying what you're doing, that comes across as well, and that can have like this energy, an energetic ripple effect, you know, where if someone maybe doesn't have a hobby and they maybe don't have something that they love to do, by someone else being really passionate about their hobbies might encourage someone to be like, you know what, this is something that I love to do, and this is something that I feel I'm going to start doing. So you never ever know fully how impactful your words can be on another person. So if you're wanting to share your voice, do so. If you need any help or tips, if you want to overcome any fears, if you want to delve into your past lives, you know, to overcome that, then you can get in touch with me as well. So I have been building a new website, which again, it's not perfect, but it's been very gradual, which is just literally lindsaybanks.uk. I think it's still attached to WordPress at the minute because I'm having some technical issues in terms of point and domain names and all this. But if you just go and find me and get in touch. So the world needs to hear your voice right now. How can you make a start today? Sending you all many, many blessings and wishing you a fabulous day.